selfish, Chad.
Yes, and it goes 1, 2, 3, and to the 4. Big V and Little V and Hacker Hamin are at the door, ready to make an entrance. So back on up, infidels, because you know we're about to tear shit up. Because it's Hacker Hamin taking over the Disruption Network airwaves, and I have no time for your nonsense morons. So sit back, sip your Broster's coffee, shove another dip and donuts in your fat idiot mouths, and hear the words of Ayatollah Telayi bin Hamin as I rule your airwaves. YOLO!
Well, shit, I didn't even have to make an entrance to this. Hacker bin Hamin joining us today. Hey, guys, it's Bill Vincey, Ryan Vincey. No time for nonsense. It's Thursday night. We're back with another fun show tonight. We have Hacker Hamin, who just introduced the show, a couple of our sponsors, and he's all fired up for tonight.
Yes, very fired up. I haven't been in the ring in months, ready to rip somebody's eye out, put a fish hook on someone, and camel clutch your whole audience. So sit back, and you better have the questions rolling in, and they better not make me angry. That's for sure. I'll tell you that right now.
Christ, good thing we're not in the studio with you. I'm worried I get that slap or something thrown over the turnbuckle or something. How you doing, my man?
Nobody deserves it more than you, Vincey. I saw you at Planet Shitlist over there, and you were just walking around talking, searching for some random some trim over there instead of getting your reps in, like having to keep up with the young buck over here with the shaved face, Mr. Sexy Fireman himself. Look at him over here with his
I don't like the shaved face. I don't like it at all.
He looks like every Varick Street Utica douchebag I'd like to smash into the ground. Look at him.
Holy cow, man, he's on a tear. Well, before we get started, I want to thank. Actually, I'm pretty fired up right now. So, guys, I want to thank our sponsors for tonight's show. Let's get into that quick. I want to thank Matt Grabsky out of the Way Cafe in Utica. Matt's got some great specials going that he had going this week. I was looking. Today is actually National Burger Day, and Matt had some creations of some amazing looking burgers. You're definitely going to want to check him out. He's got these new cheddar dogs there. He's got the regular ones, which are out of this world. Then he's got the Chicago style dogs. So,
oh my goodness.
I know you know all about Chicago.
I know all about it. I'm going there now. Out of the way.
Out of the way for the cheddar dog.
It was Burger Day today.
What's that?
How did I not know it was Burger Day today?
Yeah, you missed it.
It's awful. It's awful.
And he had some good burgers over there. So give Matt a call. Put an order in for breakfast or lunch. He's at 315-733-5060. Also want to thank the Pappas family out at Geddes Bakery in North Syracuse.
Oh, yes. Very good pastries.
Awesome, man. They are great family. They got specials. If you go to their Facebook page, give them a like. The other day they have buy 6 donuts, get 6 donuts free. They have buy a loaf of bread. You get the second one half price. They got all kinds of specials. They got everything made in-house, cookies, cakes, donuts, tomato pie, spanakopia, and all your fresh bread. Give them a call, 315-437-8084. Also,
I'm trying to set up a big turf war between the Zordos family and them. We're going to have a knife fight. To see who's the greatest bakers. They're going to come out there and have a bake-off and then stab. The last one standing gets the territory.
The battle of the Greeks, man. That is, right?
They'll be dancing around in a circle by the time it's all said and done. They will be.
Also, we want to thank Dippin' Donuts, locally owned by the Zordos family, talking about them, located in 3 spots on Black River Boulevard, Erie Boulevard in Rome, New York, also on Seneca Turnpike in New Hartford. Some of the freshest donuts, bagels, anywhere around central New York. Make sure you stop in.
I had the grape leaves today, delicious Greek salad today. Not only that, ZordosOliveOil.com, ultra premium, the top grade artisanal olive oils. Why are you eating that other crap, shoving it in your mouth when you could have the best at the best price at ZordosOliveOil.com? Get it in you right now, infidels. I command it.
There it is, Zordos Greek olive oil. Fantastic.
And I'm all fired up because of the Broasters.com. The Broasters coffee, the best Nicaraguan medium blend, the best light blend, the official limited edition Vince Russo Broasters brand. Infidels, you better get that too. Why are you drinking that Dunkin' Donuts garbage, that Starbucks, waiting in line for some vanity metric when you could have some of the real, the best? You just need to get online. You're not leaving your house. The Broasters.com and ZordosOliveOil.com, and then get your Grubhubs on and go out of the way, because you have no shame. You'll get a cheddar dog in your mouth at 7 a.m. He'll be out there cooking them up for you. They'll have it delivered, and you can eat it in your pajamas if you want to.
You know what? This just made it so much easier for me not having to go through the sponsors. Ben Hamin took over. Hey, man, welcome to the show, man. Good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you. I'll tone it down because I see we're getting a lot of fear, and I like that they're getting enough fear in their MSNBC and CNN. So I'll put my infidel character on so you guys can actually stomach it for a little while here.
All right, we got that. Actually, before we get started, we are with Ben Hamin. This guy was a fantastic wrestler. He's done improv, comedy, written, production, a little bit of everything, taught at NBCC. If you have any questions for him, message him on the board. Actually, we got one. Anthony Z wants to know, how many wives do you have now?
432. It was like the Pro Wrestling Illustrated 500, and we had to have some cutbacks. After WrestleMania, there's always some future endeavors and layoffs. So I got rid of some to make way for the next crop of talent, that 2020 class. We're always scouting.
Always scouting. 232. Steve Pepto said, amazing sandwiches. Absolutely. Dippin' has it on lockdown. That's right. John Pappas, awesome, from Geddes Bakeries watching. Ben, you are the best, from Carrie. Carrie?
Thank you, Carrie, my love. That's wife 174. So I saw her last week, and we had a lovely date night together. Thank you, Carrie, my love.
Carrie's on that 232 list.
Yes, she's moving on up. She's moving on up to the east side.
So let me see. All right. So we're going to start off with you and growing up in Camden, New York.
The Murder, 245, Main Street kid.
Main Street kid, huh? Oh, man. Z just asked another question. How much has he made in the $5 slaps?
We're at slap 40. We're at slap 47. So I've been waiting. Been kind of in a holding pattern. So I'm waiting for the last 3, and I want to do a big video for number 50. And it got out of control for a while. It started out just as a carnival barker thing, but Z knows. He's felt the power of a law crush the side of his face. So does Dimitri. So do a lot of sponsors who are very good sports, and also Dippin' Donuts, a big sponsor of Dynasty Wrestling when they were around, and now Immortal Championship Wrestling. And the Dippin' Donuts 24/7 title is out there right now. Mike Skyros is champion, but first was that idiot referee Sideburns, the very first champion ever, only to be beaten by ECW legend Just Incredible moments later with a kendo stick shot. And then Mike Skyros cashed in, and he's had that title ever since its inception. So there's these communities, leaders and businessmen and women are doing great things just to push everybody forward, and that's what my brand we'll get into is all about, and yours is as well, to facilitate and do business for others, to make everyone shine. We all a rising tide raises all ships, and that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So there you go, Z. Maybe we'll get a collage. You could get one of those videos where it's just slap after slap after slap.
Yeah, it's going to be, really I'll stooge it off. It's going to be to the $5 foot-long Subway thing, but it's going to be $5 face slaps, and I'm just cutting in everyone who gets slapped.
That's awesome.
Across the board. So.
That's awesome. So Ben Hamin, growing up in Camden, what was it like? What were you like as a kid growing up in Camden?
Yeah, probably like most every other kid that grew up there with, living in town, but you still have some blue collar aspect to you. And my mom was a teacher at the elementary school my whole life pretty much. And she taught at Ansville too for a little while when I was real young. And my dad was the head of Oneida County Forestry, a deputy commissioner of it. And so he grew up in Ansville, and they were high school sweethearts. So I'm as Camden as they come. And, my dad was a 4-year wrestler and varsity football guy. And it was a lot of pressure on me to fill those shoes size wise. But I always I was also, I don't know, my mom was pushing me towards performance side because I wasn't afraid as a little kid to go up and talk to people, like 3-4 years old. So they put me in, you know, everything that you do for kids, dance class and this, and I ended up doing Rising Stars at Rome in the Capitol Theater, and that just sent me on a whole nother trajectory where I was doing like what every kid does, baseball, football, but a lot of that was to, like, you know, to make your father proud of you, you know.
Right.
Not that I didn't enjoy it, and all my friends, it's Camden, it's one street light, small town. It's what you do to fit in, you know. Yeah. And whatever, skateboard, ride bikes, all that kind of stuff, you know, skin your knee and be down at Forest Park having a good time and drinking beers when you're 17 and all the Camden shit, man. So it's as beautiful of a wonder years growing up experience, and I'm very proud to be from Camden. I've been able to go back and do comedy through Phil Farda's Comedy Central CNY at Nicole's, which was Katie and Carl's, or the Black Lantern. And if you want to go way back when I was a little kid. And I've been to 3 weddings there, 3 anniversary parties, a divorce party, and my senior prom was there. And now I do stand up there. So that kind of shit just makes me laugh. I love that stuff. And to be able to go on the journey and come back to Camden and do jokes for the people who've known me since I was a baby, and give something back to them, that's a very fulfilling thing for me, man, as an artist. And I'm very lucky to be from there and have that chop wood, carry water work ethic, and like take that New York sharpness with me as well. Like that's really what's helped me make me what I am as an artist.
Yeah, absolutely. So you did stay active growing up then. You were, you know, you were always doing something.
That's it, man. Like, well, my dad runs the New York State Woodsman's Field Days, which for the first time ever is not going down this year because of COVID. Right. But, you know, I learned my dad's like I'd say in wrestling, the Vince McMahon of that, where, you know, you're managing 400 volunteers. He goes out, picks the wood for the competition. He was the head judge of everybody you see on Steel Timber Sports Series. All those guys I grew up with doing the amateur pro circuit with my dad, all through the Adirondacks, Tupper Lake, Sandy Creek, you know. So I was fishing and hunting and doing all those things as well before I made an escape to the big city to polish my craft, man. So like to be able to pull from that, where a lot of actors I know just have meltdowns because they just go into some SJW, I don't know, like mindset. Like I'm very thankful that I don't need to react emotionally to things. I have a better, clearer view of things, I think.
No, that's awesome. I wanted to ask you pretty much how long you've been watching wrestling, but it seems like you've been doing it probably since you could ever remember, since your father was into it.
Yeah, well, that's what messed me up, right? Because I'm 6 years old, and so that's 1983, and like that's probably my earliest memories of wrestling, early Mania 1 and Andre Hogan and all that, right? And everyone would come to, when you can first start remembering, I talked to a lot of people when I was a kid, everybody would be like, dude, your dad was a beast in the wrestling room. He's a 4-year, like when you see my dad senior picture, he looks like a coach, like his hairline's all the way back. He looks like he's 30 years old. And my dad went undefeated all the way until state finals where he got beat. Like he's in track and field with shot put and all that. He held a lot of records until guys like Chris Hall broke them. It took years for guys to break So my dad was a center and just a farm boy and a lumberjack. So that's the genetic stock I come from. But when you're a little kid and somebody's telling you about wrestling and then you see Hogan, I'm thinking my dad's like fighting Hogan. Exactly. And the guys I see on the lumberjack series are like, they look like the dudes on TV. They're massive, right? So in my mind, my dad is a larger than life figure. And to a lot of people he is even still. But then my mom made him take me to Saturday Night's Main Event in Syracuse, 1985. And we were 7th row against the gate. And my dad was he's a pretty no-sell kind of guy. And it was Hogan and Killer Khan in the ring. And Andre came out and stood right next to my dad on the rail. He had this lime green seersucker suit on. It was terrible. And my dad's hands are massive. And I remember looking up and seeing my dad and Andre tower over. And I looked and I saw my dad's hands and Andre's hands. And since that week, I've never missed a week of wrestling in my life since I was 8 years old. So that's how sick I am with wrestling, I think. And I've seen every bit of the Monday Night Wars, ECW, train developmental OVW, Row OVW. And we can get into wrestling and 2CW and how great that is if you want. And in upstate New York, what a great experience. But yeah, dude, wrestling has been the backdrop of my life, the constant through it all.
So who is some of the wrestlers, like your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Oh, growing up, I was Andre guy for sure. But
yeah,
I like mid-card guys. I mean, I give everybody their respect now that I'm on the other side of the coin. Everybody's fucking great to me, or everybody's a shitbag, really, in wrestling. I'm a Bret Hart guy through and through, and you got to go Bret versus Shawn. That was a big, big heat between me and my kid brother. He was Shawn guy. And, I've been lucky to work with Tommy Dreamer a bunch, and I love Tommy Dreamer in ECW. And I've learned a lot from him, been chewed out by him enough. And, Ravishing Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, $1 Million Man, all heels. I love heels. I love bad guys. And that's why I feel like I've taken from almost all of them, and why my Ben Hamin persona is so much more on shows than other guys who don't know how to do the character work, or they haven't put in the time in improv. It's not their fault, because I'm not nearly as athletic as I'd like to lead on that I am. So I have to cover it with my good acting and talking a lot of shit. But it's entertainment. Like,
it is.
Wrestling never gets over. Wrestling is the end of the conflict. The conflict happens because of the emotion and the stakes and the stance and the story. The wrestling is the payoff. The 1, 2, 3 is the payoff. So you guys can go wrestle and bump your ass off all you want. I'll go over and do character in a fake kidnapping and be the biggest thing on the show that you remember. And people come up to me at the end of the show, go, man, I haven't felt like that since the 80s, dude. Like, these are just little indie shows. And I can't sell for them and be like, oh, thank you very much. I'm like, yes, I know, moron. I'm the greatest of all time. Like, but that does mean a lot to me when that happens.
So you knew at a pretty young age, this is what you want to get into.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's limited experience of what you can do. This is when, Summer Stage 93, Oliver, Fiddler on the Roof. I've done Guys and Dolls at 3 or 4 different places, Little Shop of Horrors, Damn Yankees, South Pacific. I mean, I know all the Rodgers and Hammerstein catalog, So you're limited to that 1950s audience that's, conditioned to the Lawrence Welk show that wants to see that. So that's your opportunity to perform. Or you do some children's theater stuff. There wasn't hard-hitting improv comedy, but we were watching Saturday Night Live when Mike Myers and those guys are just destroying, right? So we know what's going on, and we're playing little improv games. But Raymond Kester is a guy who had a massive, massive influence on a lot of my generation. They brought him here from Texas. And he went to Ole Miss, and he directed and kind of ran the Capitol Theater and ran Rising Stars. And, I know like Ryan DeMars, the principal of Herkimer, schools there. He could have been on SNL, in my opinion. That guy is a brilliant comedian, even when we were kids. And I know he's doing great things with it as a principal, but that's like Raymond Kester put him on a path to greatness as well in what he's doing. And I could go through a laundry list of people that we have in common. So to be able to get outside influences, that was a big thing. And this is something I want to stress. You have to sacrifice if you want to be the best or get to a level in anything you want to do. I don't care what it is. You have to put yourself alongside the people that are going to be the best. So I learned about mentorship and learning from better actors when they would bring in people from just college actors or, summer stage actors to come and do that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I got a big college education for very little, but just for busting your ass and doing the work, right? If you pay attention. I did that in college. And then I went to Chicago to Improv Olympic, where Chris Farley, I mean, you can run them down, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, like Conan O'Brien cast, like yada, yada. And now all the people on Silicon Valley, Veep, those are all the people I came up with. So while I'm still busting my ass in the ring, I'm like, shit, I should have stuck with comedy. but I knew if I could get to that level in improv and take that to wrestling, I was going to have something that no one's ever seen before.
Exactly. Right.
And I still feel that I've had a lot of influence on the wrestling business, and at this point, more than I ever thought I would. And I'm just on scratching the surface, because if the takeover really happens, the fantasy I had of being Vince Russo in 1997 when I was in college, and now I work alongside him, and now that the next time there's a change and shift in power, that I might be on that top level, it's all worth it for 30 years of grind from that time when I looked up and saw Andre the Giant standing next to my dad, bro.
Absolutely.
So then
you got to seek out mentors. You got to find your Pai Mei. You got to carry the buckets of water up the steps till your arm burns. You got to do the reps. You got to do 10,000 hour rule. You got to memorize it forwards and backwards. Read everything of the people you're trying to emulate that came before you. Good artists create, and great artists steal and make it their own. And once you can get to that level, and you can pick from, Ben Hamin picks from George Bush, Hitler, to anybody on the news, to I'll pull Hunter S. Thompson lines and put it all in my character and play to the height of my intelligence. But you can't play like a high-level jazz player until you learn the basic chords. You have to have a solid foundation. You have to seek out the mentors to do that. And that means sacrificing, moving away from your family, going to where it is to do that, and then doing the work to get it done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like they say, you put yourself with people that, say are smarter than you or something like that, and you build off of them. Like, you want to be in that kind of position so you can work to get to where their level is. You know what I mean?
100%, man. And once they see you working and grinding like that, that's how respect is earned. It's not, you're not going to walk in and be like, I'm here, everybody, I'm part of the crew now. No, dude, you're going to go set up the ring for 3 years. You're going to make no money. You're going to go to every show that you might or might not get booked on. You're going to do the merch table if you have to, tickets, set up chairs, and then maybe you'll get a shot to be a referee. And guess what? Being a referee is the fastest way to get in the main event. And working the main event is knowledge that is accrued over a 10-year period. I can name 3 guys right now who did that exact model, and one of them is a referee for NXT, one of them runs OVW, and one of them is in Impact Wrestling. So, like, it's how are you going to sacrifice, humble yourself, and as Joey Mercury once told me, never miss a chance to shut the fuck up. So sit there and listen and learn, like, instead of trying to tell, even though as I shoot my mouth off here incessantly, so. Yeah.
So we're going back again a little bit. After high school, you went to Fredonia College.
Yeah, SUNY Fred.
What'd you take there, and how was your experience?
I took a lot of beers down, and
Big party people there.
Yeah, dude. But then I took it very seriously because improv found me, and it changed my life forever, and put me in a tribe that I'm forever loyal and dedicated to, which is Random Acts. So Fredonia, I got there and I was ready to drink and be stupid and young. And I got in on theater, and then they were having me do stagecraft after I did it for 6 years. I didn't humble myself. I had a big head, and I effed my way over the first year. I had to go to OCC, humble myself, wanted to go back because I knew it, because I saw this show, Random Acts, which was like our own Saturday Night Live, and they tried to put it on at the school, and the school said no. So this guy, Law Torello, who now teaches at Second City in Chicago, he went and got drunk with this dude, Dave Munnell, who ran the 1891 Fredonia Opera House, a beautiful, beautiful place to have a show. And they let us put up a show there like fools. And it took off. The cast was like 22 people, and it was all different theater majors and music majors, which is primarily what Fredonia is. I mean, it's a lot of things, but that's really what it's known for. And the show just started getting better and better, and we were packing out 500 seats, 6 to 8 shows a semester, on a midnight on Saturday, and the bars were 2 blocks away, 13 bars. That is a huge accomplishment. I can't tell you like how big that is. And then we'd have a house band, people come out and do little bits from the plays that were coming up, and then we just do Whose Line Is It Anyway, or a sketch somebody wrote, a musical dance opening and closing that was funny, stand-up comedy. And those people have all stayed together. one of them is Nice Peter from Epic Rap Battles of History, who's one of the top YouTubers of all time. Yeah. That's one of my good friends who helped me get all the studio equipment to set up my shit. Marissa Panessa, who runs Panessa Talent and now manages 3 people on Saturday Night Live. Myself doing wrestling, Devin Goffman, who's on Broadway with Jersey Boys, Law at Second City. I can go on and on. People on VH1, DJs, all this kind of stuff, man. All from one cast. Up until that point, Fredonia was like, you know who went here? The dude who played the girl, or the girl played the on Blossom, the older brother. Like, that was like one of the most famous people. You're like, oh, really? Watch this. Watch this. Yeah. And now we've exploded like no one ever has. And Random Acts is still going on. It's on at the school now, but that's a way for us to pull new talent still even, man. So that's an incredible thing from Fredonia. I did media arts. We were the first class to graduate in media arts because it was so new. And sound engineering, that was another part of it. There were different tracks like graphic design or business you could go into. And I was a big hip hop fan. I thought I was going to be P. Diddy, fooling myself, because then I got in the studio and I was like, dude, I just had to EQ this one Blink-182 True track for 300 hours. Fuck this, bro. Like, that was one of our senior projects. Like, all right, you have to go get a band. You have to pick a song. Pick a simple song, I'm telling you, being simple, and record it and make it sound just like the recording, so we can't tell the difference. With a band that you found, make them sound, dude, 300 hours of all the small things. I've heard that. If I never hear that song again in my life. That song.
I sing that every week in karaoke. It's one of my go-tos.
If you put me in Guantanamo Bay, that would break me in day 2. I'm ratting on everybody. I'll Tekashi 6ix9ine everybody out here, bro. Like, that song would break me because I was in the studio. Dude, bro, terrible. Another one too, when I was in Chicago and I was working at this place where I had to do something for Accenture, these big CEOs where they just want, they blow $60,000 on like a PowerPoint presentation or a flash presentation, and they bought the rights to tonight's gonna be oh yeah. So I would have to go through, there were so many things that I would scrub through it backwards in the timeline. I know the song backwards if you were to play it backwards as much as I know it forwards. For 6 to 8 weeks I worked on that. I got a feeling that tonight I'm gonna murder everyone in my housing complex. Like, dude, it was so bad. It was. But that's what you do when at $35 an hour, I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a drunk night at IO. I just would make all this shit up.
We're gonna follow the timeline pretty much, since you're talking about Chicago. After college, how long until you moved to Chicago, and what was the plan there?
Second City came through at their touring show, and they did a seminar with us, and they did the road show at night, and the road show just blew us away. And the next day, that was Friday night, Saturday is the rehearsal during the day, and then we put up the show at night. They came and did 3 hours with us, and I murdered it that day. I don't know what was in me, dude, but like sometimes you're just in the zone. Yeah. I wasn't trying to upstage people, and dude pulled me aside. He's like, you got to go, man. And Marissa had gone out for the summer intensive, and she had moved out there and was working this place called Flair Communications Agency, which actually the show Mad Men, the upper dudes, are based off of this guy, Lee Flaherty, who started the Chicago, what do you call it, like the 5K run, whatever, the Chicago Marathon. And he's like this Scrooge McDuck miser who like got rid of his whole family. It's crazy, but she got me a job there as a paid intern. So I was working on stuff with like dudes who came from Madman era, but they were crossing over into the digital realm. So I got to work on Corona, Frigo Cheesehead, some Nickelodeon stuff, doing flash animations just as an intern and making boards for presentations and shit, low level stuff, you know?
Right.
But I'm getting paid as an intern, living on ramen and pizza and doing improv at night and taking the L or riding my bike right downtown, man. And it's a dream come true, dude. Every day is a dream for a young artist like that. And then I got repped by Creative Circle, and I just jumped as a freelancer. I've worked for every major firm there is, from Leo Burnett to DDB to, you know, probably 40, 50 firms, from boutique agencies to the biggest, names there is on remember when like on flip phones when games were coming out on that constantly.
Yeah.
Dude, that was my bread and butter for Flash. I could bill $40 an hour and I could book 60 hours a week. I could sit home and do it all at home, or I could go to these little agencies. It was crazy the amount of work I was able to do. I could take all of July off, like as a 25-year-old. Yeah. So I had bankroll, and I was, I'm taking my classes, and even at Improv Olympic, I paid for my first set of classes because you show up and you don't say, I'm doing it this way. Mm-hmm. But I went to Charna Halpern, who runs the place and, made everybody, Andy Dick, Mike Myers, the whole nine. And I was like, hey, you have all these stars here, but you're not highlighting them the right way. I took the dirt sheet thing that I was doing in college with wrestling, and I started doing a whole online magazine called Improv Insider. So now I've gained access to the top level improvisers who want to get on Saturday Night Live, but nobody's doing the graphics work, the interview work. I would sit there with a tape recorder, do a 2-hour podcast, but there was no podcast. Then I would go back, replay it, and type it out brutally for 7 hours, 2 hours of dictated conversation back and forth, do the graphics, buy the web space, put it all up, and make my own whole webzine called Improv Insider. But now I'm with Dave Pasquazi, TJ Jagodowski. Dave Pasquazi on Veep. TJ Jagodowski is the guy who rides shotgun in the Sonic commercials. Yep. Turned down Will Ferrell's spot on Saturday Night Live. Like, now these are my mentors, and I'm in with these guys. See what I'm saying? You got to find your mentors and do what it takes to be done. So now I'm not picking up chairs and cigarette butts at the end of the night like the other 20 interns are, but I'm doing 10 times the work creatively, but I'm getting 10 times the education for what I'm doing for the industry. I'm supporting the whole industry of improv. And that was phenomenal time to be creative. And then, performed on a bunch of teams, Rumspringa and a bunch of other theaters and stuff, and took some classes at Second City and performed on their small stage there. And then it was getting time to audition for the main stage. I had 2 auditions for that and their second stage. But I did a show, and it was late show. It was Jordan Klepper, who's on Daily Show now, and he has his own The Jordan Klepper Show, and who I think should have been running the desk at Daily Show, but we won't get into that kind of shit now. But Ed Ferrara, who was Vince Russo's writing partner from WWE, is teaching at Northwestern, and he came, and they had me on the show doing Lucha Libre stuff because they know wrestling is my shit. Mm-hmm. And Ed and I closed down the bar from 1 till 4 in the morning, and he was so kind to me. And it was at that moment, he's like, you really want to do this? You've got all the tools to do it, but you need to go to OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling, which is WWE's developmental. John Cena, Batista, Randy Orton.
Right.
I can go on and on. Brock Lesnar, whatever, right? And I went down and visited, and Rip Rogers, who's the craziest son of a bitch ever and probably the best mentor I've ever had. And his voice is in my head all the time. And like, who taught him? Roddy Piper and Macho Man Randy Savage and Lenny Poffo. So my knowledge in this industry is Roddy Piper, Macho Man, filtered through Rip to me, and combined with the knowledge of the masters of improvisation from Bill Murray down, you know what I mean, filtered through them. And now I have an opportunity to create people at OVW and characters and show what I can do after paying my dues and developing the Ben Hamin character. Because even leaving Chicago, we were very, very political comedy, anti-Bush, anti-war, post 9/11, 9/11 truth. Obviously, that's what the whole Ben Hamin character is based off of. And I still ride that hard to this day because justice has not been done for the people who are truly behind this, CIA and Mossad and all that kind of stuff. So it's the truth that people don't want to hear that Ben Hamin speaks, because otherwise, if you don't know your history, you'll never know where you're coming from.
That was one of the next questions I was going to ask you, how you came up with the character Ben Hamin. Obviously, you answered that now, but it's just my name is Benjamin, so I just changed it to Ben and changed the J to the H, like the Spanish sounding one, and also it's double entendre because I'm a big Paul Heyman fan. So Ben Heyman, and Disco Inferno calls me that. He thinks it's a rib, but I kind of like it. So in the crowd was Ali and Omar, or Khalil Gaspard and Ali Vaez. Muhammad Ali Vaez is a first-generation Iranian American. His parents came here and his mother
is a vice president at University of Kentucky. Very smart people, very highly educated people. But Ali, man, even though I'm Iranian, I talk like this, man. So he grew up in Kentucky, man, and he even went to West Point. So Ali can't really come out on the mic and go, "Yo, Allah, infidels, hear me now," but he can speak Farsi. So I act as the translator while Ali does Farsi. Khalil's from Lebanon and via Canada, so he's kind of always got to cross the border, go back and get so we would switch up, and Khalil is just a psycho MMA, just badass, and you don't want him to say nothing. He says it with his eyes. So here I am. I can grow the beard and do the character, and we're off to the races. What are they saying on Fox every day? Insurgency, insurgency, insurgency. What are we? You boys look like the insurgency. and then gas prices went from $2.10 to $4.45 over the next 2 years. And all I would do is go, "Infidels, you will bow before me. Otherwise, I'll raise your gas prices again next week. Hear me now. You better call off your war." And gas prices go up. "I told you, and it's not going to stop." And like, dude, them good old boys, "You camel fucker," like all that shit, bro. Like I've gotten it all, but really what I'm doing is letting them get their PTSD out, because all they've ever seen is the Al-Qaeda on the monkey bars, dickhead jumping out of the foxhole, Bin Laden shooting the AK, and then we're off to the next story, right? Here I am. They can see me get beat, punched off the apron. They got that motherfucker, yeehaw! And then, that I feel like I'm doing more good than I am perpetuating Islamophobia. I'm letting off steam that this fear-mongering, ratings-based fear porn media that's all controlled by 6 companies, 5 soon enough, that gives you the illusion of choice. They're controlling you in a Pavlovian operant conditioning method to do whatever they want to. And right now you're seeing it at the most hyped ever, right? So that's what Ben Hamin, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. But really what Ben Hamin's doing is fighting against I've been fighting against the deep state long before it was cool to say.
Absolutely. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're with hacker Ben Hamin. Great story so far. We do got a question, but Jeff, you kind of missed the answer on this. Who is your favorite wrestler in wrestling territory growing up?
Man. It's tough coming up as a WWF, WWE Attitude Era guy, and even, Superstars era in ECW, man. But I got to go that ECW, the moment. I don't know, man. There's been crazy moments when you're in the ECW show at the Hammerstein Ballroom, like that energy, you're just like all one monster together. Like the group mind is moving, and it's crazy. So there's Tommy Dreamer moment there that really sticks out in my mind. I was there with the Rob Van Dam, John Cena shit too at One Night Stand. That was big. But dude, I got to tell you, even though neither of them are my favorites, so I have massive respect for both of them because they're the biggest legends. But I was there for Rock and Hogan in Toronto, dude, and I've never experienced anything like that in my life. I've experienced some crazy heat situations, but to sit there in the crowd, I've never felt the air shift and move like like everyone was like swirling around. It was crazy. So there's, like I said, there's tons and tons of guys I got a lot of respect for, or like I liked his characters that I don't have respect for now. But $1 Million Man always used to pop the shit out of me. Whenever he would kick the fucking basketball on the little kid, I'd laugh my ass off, dude. I love that kind of that Schadenfreude shit is great, dude. I love it. I love it.
That's funny. Now I do want to ask you now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, when you come out of that character, what's the crowd like in your matches? Are they really hostile at you? I mean, are they pretty crazy?
It's as bad as they want to make me, right? In their own minds. It's how bad are they PTSD'd, and who am I fighting? Right. Is it a soldier? Is it the Patriot Del Wilkes? Is it Hacksaw Jim Duggan? Right. Like I can ratchet it up pretty good. Am I on the heat? Am I versus Super Cop Dick Justice after I've done a kidnapping? What are the stakes, And where am I? Right. In Kentucky after some bullshit, like a terrorist attack anywhere, they're going to be hot and like their own shit's going to come out. In New York, if it's at 2CW, I'm going to cut the promo and I'm going to just cram it in their face because they want to be smarter than you, and they'll try and get over on you, and I'll just be sitting in the back knowing that I got a trump card to fucking play on them, and that so they'll all go, oh, he got us again, because that's what they want.
Right.
Kentucky wants something else. Canada wants it. I like Canada. It's perpetually 1987. Everybody wants to do like an old school gimmick, but they want new school heat. And it's funny to watch them to put it in there. It really makes me feel like I'm watching WWF Superstars all over again, because I tag with Congo Kong there. And, you know, that's a little bit different than my more modern stuff with the Conspiracy Horsemen here. So, like here, this is your fans might not like this story, but I don't give a shit because I'm a heater. But, you know, right after the Parkland shooting, right, which there's a whole conspiracy tied to that anyway, but like, this is the day after, and the show is that night, and there's like 7 little kids on the railing. It's right after intermission, after we win, right? And I'm cutting the promo, and all the kids are boo, da, 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 and they don't know what's happened in Parkland, and all the parents are there. And I just went right down the line and went, oh, finger gun on each one of them, and like the little kids just think I'm not doing anything, but all the parents go, oh. Like, that's the, like, you want the truth that you think your children are safe, and the illusion of safety is what you've based upon. Let me remind you that this is all an illusion. It's not that I want to kill your kids for real or want them to die, but you're like, sure, wrestling is escapism, but I'm a heel, and mine is to touch that nerve. And the best heels are always saying a truth that is undeniable, and especially a truth that's undeniable to them, because truth in comedy or truth in drama is always better than a plotty punchline and setup, man. So that's real heat. People might call it cheap heat, but I don't give a shit, dude, because that's driving home a political message. And the best acting we do is when we say nothing at all. I didn't have to say shit, dude. Right. So that, to me, is a high-level spot. Right. And nobody else can argue me down off that ledge. When it was there and I was in the moment, that's what I do, bro.
Yeah. We do get a question from Bob Taylor. Is Ben going to show up tonight? Well, Bob, you missed his intro where he came on, but there you go. You might get a little. There you go. He'll give you a little. Yeah.
I love Bob Taylor. That's right. Come over there and smash your face one time. You've been over there in quarantine watching all those Shimmer and Shine. You're probably one of those tape trader masturbators from the 80s who still got a VHS set up so you can't be tracked online. I see everything you're doing. Hacker Hamin knows it all, moron.
There you go, Bob. You want him, you got him.
Bob over there, team never touched a titty club. Bullet to the head club.
Take that, Bob.
So I got a question for you. This one I love asking. Any of the musicians we had, this and that, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you in a match? Like with the fans or with just anything? And he said definitely a masturbator.
Tape trader, yes. That's right. He's on the dark web, the sticky web. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crazy things that go down, man. But almost getting into like stabbed and lynched in Campbellsville, Kentucky. I've told this a couple times, but like it was a hot show. We were in a armory in Campbellsville, which is known Ku Klux Klan country, known. And we're fighting the Mexicans who, surprise, surprise, now the Mexicans are heels everywhere. But like, you know, the Los Locos were the big baby faces. They're cool guys, come out to Lowrider, the whole nine. And here we come in the armory. And there's this guy who was PTSD with his buddy on one end. And he's talking all this shit, camel fucker and sand jockey and all that shit. And I'd get a line in on him and he'd bowing up. And I'm starting to pull focus because I wrestle a lot more now, but I was mainly a manager then, you know? Mm-hmm. And I like, all right, I can see the guys are getting hot, that I'm pulling focus. And I got to get away from this guy to kind of cool it down and let the match do it, because the match is what should be the payoff, not me and this dude, right? So I go down to the other end of the ring, and all of a sudden my flag and my jacket are getting pulled, and I'm getting pulled into the crowd. And I'm thinking it's this guy. I turn around, it's like, I don't know, maybe 13 to 15-year-olds there. And the one kid was pulling me. Like, I turn, and he's right there, and he's got a hat and glasses on. I just I slapped the bill of his hat. And I give him one of those. Mm-hmm. So I do the Shawn Michaels thigh slap on there. And the kid's hat goes flying, and he's scared and backs up. He knocks his own glasses off. but it looks awesome. I'm like, shit, I wish people would sell like this for me all the fucking time. Right. So like people like go nuts. So here comes the, just like NWO, dude, boom, I get hit with a soda in the arm. It explodes. Like dudes are like, you motherfucker, he fucking hit him. He hit him, like saying to the military guys and shit who are there, like as security. So I was like in the ring, Los Locos like, Sheik, you all right? Like, what's going on? I go, bro, take it home. We got to get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Boom, hit the finish. We lose. That they didn't give a shit on the finish, bro. They wanted me dead. And we get the back. Ali's like, what did you do? I go, dude, nothing. They just started pulling me in the crowd. He's like, okay. As soon as he says that PTSD guy turns the corner. He's got a spider co. He fucking whips it out. He's probably about 20 feet away from us, right? And he's like, motherfucker, you fucking hit my kid. And dude, of course, that kid was that guy's son, and he's trying to show off for his old man, right? And I had no idea, like what, and I didn't hit the kid at all. So all of a sudden, like Debo, the biggest black dude, we had the Grape Drink connection, Debo and Rough Rider Rashad, like, Sheik, what the fuck's going on out here? Like they come out like 400 pounds and just jet. And this guy's maybe 150, 160 pound little, he's got the boonie hat on and he's playing G.I. Joe, but he's about to get fucking prison fucked up right here real quick. And then out comes Von Lilas, who's 6'8", and then I was like, see ya. We go in the locker room, grab our shit, go out the back door, fucking hit it. Here come 3 cop cars. Woo! And like the driveway's a big U where because they got to pull in the Bradley vehicles and shit in the back, right? So we parked, thankfully, on the opposite side, slide right out. The cops go. Amish Roadkill was the booker at that time from ECW, and he had to show the cops the whole tape. And as clear as day, this kid pulls me, not Roadkill, because Roadkill gets on the phone because didn't know if we had to come back or not to like own up to it. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not getting lynched over some shit out here in Campbellsville, bro. Right. Like like right at the town line is a big barn and the whole fucking roof is a Confederate flag. Like I'm at the end of the day, I can go chill. I'm a white guy, but fucking Ali and Khalil can't, dude. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly.
We were the fuck out of there, bro. But Roadkill said, nah, dude. Cops said, everything you guys did was spot on, and they arrested that guy for being drunk in public and for trying to fucking do an assault, man. So they said that guy's always tearing shit up in the town, but like that was pretty close to getting shanked up that night. Yeah. I'll never remember when Debo came out, y'all got a problem out here? It's like, not no more, we don't.
Wow, that's nuts. I feel like your character especially would be the kind of character that would like bring some of that madness to your dangerous for you, it's
I ride crazy. That all the time. I get a lot of Vietnam vets and guys who are with canes and shit who come to shows now. There's a lot of fucking pictures of me. The dude in Rochester, he gets so fucking fired up, like just right in my face with the middle finger and like, I'll fucking kill you. I was like, you're still alive? Well, all that kind of shit. Right. Just to keep them going, man. I love it because if I can get to that one dude, the rest of the crowd is I already got them.
Oh, absolutely.
I got them all.
Absolutely.
And I don't care. Like, you got a lot of handicapped people or handicapped disabled, I guess, whatever PC word you want to say. Dude, the thing they want the most is to feel included and not coddled. I walk right up to him and I go, I saw him running a 5K. He's a faker. He's only in this chair for a check. Dude might not even have any legs. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, you'll stand up and rise and praise me when I enter the room, or I'm not a faker like you getting a like. And like, even if there's dudes at OVW, I love them, cerebral palsy guys. They fucking got to get their crooked arm up in a fuck you, like fuck you. Like they love it. It makes them. Nobody ever comes at those guys like you're a fucking faker. Fuck you, dude. Like I'm sorry to swear so much, but like that's. And then if I can get that dude, I got everybody. And people are like, that's cheap heat. No, it's not, dude. That's a moment between me and that guy as a heel who's unabashed. And I'll call everybody else fat infidels, toothless infidels, whatever, but you go at the dude with cerebral palsy in the wheelchair and get a good laugh and a reaction. Absolutely. I love it, man. I'm not going to stop.
That's awesome. You know what I want to get into quick here is when you went to MVCC and you were teaching over there, what were you teaching?
I taught them marketing and advertising class. I taught a broadcasting class. I taught the fundamentals of media, which is really fundamentals with conspiracy theory 101 mixed in, because you have to be able to read the media and know how to control if you're going to be a part of it. You can't look at it anymore like with a mark eye. You have to know how to manipulate people. What I tell you in our marketing class, marketing is the most racist, ageist, sexist thing that activity you can partake in. And it's not to say, oh, I'm good at it because I'm a racist or a sexist. Maybe you are, and that's why most psychopaths are in marketing and, and whatnot. But like, you have to look at micro demographics and sell a product to different people in certain ways, and that means breaking them down by race, weight, age, sex, buying habits. That's what you're studying somebody as and looking at them as a group. Now you're prejudging them. Well, yeah, because I know that I can convert 60% of them if I use this method of marketing. And then I got to redo that message for the moms at home and then the war vets. And, that's just how you have to look at things, man, if you want to be successful.
It's the way it's effective.
Yeah, it's not anything personal. It's not like, I'm picking on Asian people to market to them. I'll get you.
No, it's just what more likely you're going to get a reaction from, or make more off of.
Then that's why you just need to look objectively how to get at everybody and make the most out of it, man. What's a universal message to start with, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Brendan Doherty said, "What's up?"
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him? He's watching.
He's a good buddy from Camden, New York.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Phenomenal musician, phenomenal father. You might have heard his band. They're not really playing anymore, but he was only on the Downstroke, was a big rock band 5 years ago around here, and he is a great, great guitar player and a great follower of Hamin Media. I'm very thankful for his friendship and loyalty.
That's cool. So I got to tell the story because I told a lot of people this. When I went back to college, let's see, now we got to be going back. Oh, God, 51 now. So I had to be about 43, 44.
43, yeah.
About 43. And I was taking marketing classes, which I've never done before. I had no idea anything about it. And my first class I walk into is Professor Ben Hamin, or Professor Doer, I should say.
Ben Doer. You can use my shoot name. I don't know.
And I walk in, and he's dressed in character. So I'm walking and I'm looking at him, I'm going, what the fuck is this? Is this the right class I'm in? He's got the sunglasses, he's got the headgear, he's got the long beard. I go, this can't be fucking possible. This can't be my professor. I sit in the back. Now I'm in the back of the classroom, which I usually sat, and here with these 18, 19-year-old kids, I'm going to them, I go, who the fuck is this guy? And then you start playing a video of you wrestling. And I go, what in the world are we doing? But I got to tell you, when I walked in there that first day, I knew nothing about marketing, nothing about advertising, nothing. Computer stuff. And I got to say, you were, and I still tell this to everybody, I said, by far one of the best professors I had. And I went to college, I think, 4 or 5 times now. So of all the teachers I had, you were definitely one of the biggest inspirations to kind of push me to where I need to be. I didn't finish college, but I took the classes I needed to get where I am today, to build the show that we have, and now the podcast. And I couldn't thank you more. And I tell people this all the time. I said, you were one of the biggest influences I've had through the years. And I said, even if today, if I have a question, I could still reach out to him and give him a call and talk to him about stuff.
As long as there's air in my lungs, man, I'm always here for you, brother.
Yeah.
And that means so much to me. And to become a mentor to others after I feel like I've taken from so many great minds, to be able to pass it on and then see you apply it. And, the degree on the wall is a nice thing, but that's still, well, it's a Freemason thing. We can get to that this time, some other time. But it's about applying the knowledge. And as a young person, you don't know how to do that. You coming back as a returning adult student, you just needed the knowledge. You have the work ethic and connections. The rest is just the pat on the back vanity metric to spend the money for it. But what you and your son have done, what you and your video production staff have done, and what you've done for your community sports wise, just highlighting all the restaurants, using your passions. You and a few others have applied the knowledge that you've sought from me at such a high level and in a good amount of time in the right way. It's not going to come overnight. And that you've hit the wall and you've been promised things and have the your legs kicked out many times. Welcome to the entertainment biz, Briz. Are you going to be able to hang in there and do this shit? Or are you going to tuck your tail and go, remember when I was in a play in high school? That was fun. Yeah, sure was. Good on you, man. But I'm in this shit for the long haul, and I can spot talent. That's the biggest thing. Everything I've ever done is been phenomenal for who I am. But my biggest talent lies in pulling a performance out of someone or a student and showing them what they're truly capable of and inspiring them. I've been very lucky to identify that as my strength. And then when I can put that in you and let it go, or Frio Isa Black with marketing, with hip hop, Rated R, or what's her name, Laura Alexander, who was the great photographer we had, and award-winning war photographer from Afghanistan. These are people who've lived real life experience, and I kind of like that about community college better, because 4-year is such an experience about the babying you, and you get to drink, but you're in a dorm, so there's safety and that shit. People who really need to do a career change and a life change like you did go, shit, this is my shot, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I kind of do, but I don't have a mentor. And you left yourself open to say yes to the knowledge that you were getting, and then you applied it. That's the thing. It takes kids 10, 15 years to learn how to apply knowledge,
Absolutely. We got a question for you from Donna Badalato. Who is your best boss or mentor?
Oh, I think probably Donna. Donna's great. No, Donna is phenomenal, man. At Vernon Downs, like there's some bosses who, there's a lot of great bosses actually around here. Mark at Fiber Instrument Sales was phenomenal too, man. Like a very political guy, but two great marketing minds who both ran a very small team of high-level people who were educated around here and ran it like an agency, like a Chicago agency. And you don't usually see that of being able to have management around here. So that when I have had to work for somebody else under their brand, I've been very fortunate to, find good mentors and bosses who I'll listen to their ideas and I'll apply whatever they want, but they also kind of respect my artistry. And Donna and I hit it off right when she came through, because the other thing is, and this will sound like some Barry Horowitz, pat myself on the back shit, but when I step to a job around here, my resume is just 3 pages long of experience compared to other people. So it kind of, you're either going to get a pro or you want an amateur, and you don't want to pay for it. Donna recognized that right away, and Donna puts her people in play. And she's awesome at Copper City Brew too. Does great stuff with them too, man. So I love all the synergy of the small business people pushing each other. That's one of my favorite things, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Donna's a schoolmate of mine, went to school together. Jeff Durso said, too bad you weren't inspired to get into wrestling, Bill. You would have been the ultimate baby face.
I think so. I think you'd be good, but actually I think you'd be a better heel. You know why? Because usually the biggest heels, who are the best heels, are the nicest guys in real life, and you're not an asshole in real life. So there's an underlying thing, a hatred, plus you're a New York guy, so you got a prick attitude anyway. But all I got to do is find what it is and foster that. Dude, you look kind of like a crazy Dr. Mindbender, G.I. Joe. Dude, I could see you like
Mr.
crazy shit.
I get Mr. Clean all the time. Yeah,
well, what if that's what made you mad? I'm not Mr. Clean. You're Mr. Dirty, and you fight dirty. That's your whole thing, right? Like, so, but yeah, dude, usually the biggest, best bad guys are the nicest guys, because baby faces are usually vain and muscle guys that are into themselves, and they're stupid and they don't study character. And the heel leads the match, so the heel's the leader most of the time.
Guys, we are coming down to the final stretch here. We got a couple minutes left, but now we've heard the story of Hacker Hamin and everything he's gone through right from the beginning days, but now it's going to get a little serious. We're going to put him in the penalty box. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions. You're going to tell us the first thing that comes to your mind. So
how hot was Donna in high school? She was hot, wasn't she?
She looks the same as she did in high school.
She's beautiful now. So I'm like, dude, high school, college, Donna wasn't. Dude, if I was her dad, I've been on the front porch with the shotgun, B. Like, I'm sure.
She looks the same as she did.
She's beautiful. Yeah, as well. So shout out.
So, okay. So
she's not my boss anymore, so I can say she's hot.
You can say that. Let's see. Jeff Durso said Bill's gimmick would have to do with food, right? Yeah. I have to do food.
Yeah, he could be. What I would do with Bill is find him the biggest, fattest 500-pound guy, and he's a professional eater. And Bill, you take his food away from him as the manager, and you set him to go kill somebody, and he beats the guy in a minute and a half, and you come back and you shove a cheese dog from On the Go back in his mouth, and he's happy and he's good to go. You come out with Dippin' Donuts the next week, and you got him on a string, and he's chasing them out there, bro, and you even throw a whole thing of donuts around the guy's neck that you got strung together, and he just mauls the guy like a bear and eats the donuts off him. 2 minutes, you're over, Bill. I got you over. You don't got to do shit except run away.
That's it, man. I'm all set. At 51, I'll be joining the ranks of the wrestling crew.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the fun part now. 5 questions. Favorite meal? What's your favorite meal?
Eddie's Fish Pieces, Sylvan Beach. Eddie's Fish Fry is the greatest fish fry on the planet. And when you're there, ask if they have pieces, because the best part is the tail end or the head end of Eddie's Fish, and every one of the pieces tastes like that. So for me, dude, I worked at Eddie's. I was the Eddie's pig. I worked in the parking lot. I raked huge sand cocks off the beach behind Harpoon Eddie's when they're out there for 4th of July making naked lady sand castles in front of everybody. I've done it all down there. And since I was 2 years old, I've never ordered anything but the fish from Eddie's restaurant, bro. I've tried people's hot ham and all that.
Yeah.
When you're talking me ordering, I work there every day. Every day I ate fish.
Every day. Wow. Okay. All right, so people will remember that. Favorite band or musician?
Oh, man, that's a tough call because I'm a big hip-hop head. So right off, I got to go Wu-Tang Clan forever. I know every catalog. I've been on stage with them, met most of them. I'm trying to work with the RZA, hopefully in the next couple of years here, a project that I've been working on for a long time. That RZA's actually probably the last mentor that I'm trying to get close to learn from in my journey. But I'm also a big fan of Canadian folk rock. It sounds like upstate New York. It sounds like winter, and that's the Tragically Hip. That is Lowest of the Low. The Weaker Thans. It started with Bare Naked Ladies on Fredonia. I'm going to put all of our DJ friends on blast right now too, because this gets me hot about K-Rock and 95X and all of them, bro. There is a wall of ignorance that stops between Rochester and Syracuse. These bands sell out HSBC Arena. They did a 5-night thing on in Canada television for Tragically Hip as Gord dies from brain cancer, and they're the Beatles of Canada. And they won't play one Lowest of the Low song or Tragically Hip on K-Rock. Meanwhile, 90% of the educated people here go to school out at UB, Fredonia, and this music defines, it's the sound of what we live. It's country, it's winter, it's high-level lyricism, and it's the guitars we love from the alternate era. They don't know any of it, and they refuse to play it. Tragically Hip has 30 top 10 hits, and they won't play one of them, dude. And people have never heard of the Hip around here.
Right.
It blows my mind. I hold K-Rock and 95X, and I fought Dixon and those guys. I love 95X guys, and I rib K-Rock and those dudes and call-ins and joke stuff. But that tears me up, bro, that they won't play those guys.
Okay.
And they play all this per play crap. Stop playing it.
Right. All right. So if you weren't, who's your this question we talked about earlier, your favorite wrestler of all time?
Me. I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Infidels, y'all.
Hacker Hamin.
Yeah, man. No, I mean Bret Hart for me is he's the hardworking technical guy, and like I said, I've been enjoying Canada so much. It's great, but dude, everybody who came before me gets my respect.
Right. Okay. Last question I got for you. If you could sit down and have dinner with one person, maybe passed on, still around, and you could have fish. You could have the pieces of fish from Eddie's and just shoot the shit about anything. Who would that one person be? Who would you want to have?
Living or dead, or is got to be? Yeah, my best friend Hooch, man. Like that's a big part of why I live my life like I do with no kids and whatnot. He was in Random Acts with me, a phenomenal stand-up, kind of like a Eric Cartman come to life, and he died tragically on July 4th when he was 35, left the whole family behind, and like little kids, just heart attack out of nowhere, as effed up as it could be. But he used to brag about his fish in Springville at the Springville Fire Department fish fry. And then I brought him to Eddie's and I schooled him 2 times. He said, God damn, this is a pretty good goddamn fish right here. I'm here to tell you. But dude, there's nobody who ever made me laugh. We would go to Cracker Barrel and I make him order the Uncle Herschel's breakfast with catfish just so he would have to say, I like the Uncle Herschel breakfast with catfish on the side, please. And like there's nothing bring a smile to my face more than my best friend Hooch. And countless hours, the Monday Night Wars, ECW, all the shows we went to, Random Acts, that was my road dog. So that'd be it, man.
That would be him. Deb Woodring said, love you.
Oh, that's his mom.
Is it? Deb's watching. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome, Deb. Well, I got to tell you, this was a great show tonight, man. I had a good time.
Yeah.
We always catch up. We always, whenever we get a chance, we meet up for coffee and get out of the blue and just shoot the shit.
Broster's coffee. Get it at the brosters.com, or you can go to Dippin' Donuts and get a Dippin' Bro coffee there.
There you go. Listen, man, always good to talk with you. Thanks for coming in tonight.
I couldn't be more proud of you guys and what you've done, man, in the time you've done it. And I know if you keep down this path, Bill, especially with what they're going to need for content, your love for sports, your love for community, and your natural ability to connect to people, you just keep doing what you guys are doing. It's all positive. It's all good. And it's only going to reap more rewards down the road.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you again. I just want to thank our sponsors one more time. Out of the Way Cafe, Matt Grabsky, Geddes Bakery, the Pappas family, Roasters, Stephen Carey, and Dippin' Donuts, the Zordos family. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring our show. We're going to be heading out for the night. Don't forget to tune in on Sunday. We got Los Angeles Angels announcer Victor Rojas.
Wow.
Play-by-play guy, TV guy. We'll get to hear his story. Pretty excited to have him on board, but I want to thank everybody for joining in and, contacting us, messaging us. It's been great. If you haven't, make sure you like his page. You can follow him.
You can get at me at bin_Hamin on Twitter, Hacker Hamin on Instagram, Infidels Hamin Media Group on Instagram to get all the alien updates. Or you can go to hackerhamin.podbean.com or twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. See the shows live, and then go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Bin Hamin for the hottest shirts in all of pro wrestling. For Big V, for Little V, for that moron Todd over there at the Disruption Network, it's Hacker Hamin taking over your airwaves. There's no mercy for any of you infidels. No foolishness allowed here. YOLO.
Hacker Hamin, thanks again, Ryan. Always good to see you, man. You guys enjoy. Be safe, and we'll see you guys soon. This is it, man. We're closing down. No time for nonsense. We'll see you guys on Sunday. You guys have a great night.